And welcome to Talk Leadership with Cedrick. Everybody needs a little TLC. So to Talk Leadership with Cedrick is where we focus on leadership and personal development with small business leaders, educators, local thought leaders, young and old. Our goal is to introduce our audience to leaders who are making an impact with innovative ideas. Tonight, I'm going to introduce you to another dynamic leader. Our guiding leadership principle is the law of contribution. Growing yourself enables you to grow others. You can't give what you don't have. So first, you must grow yourself in order to help grow others. We believe our outstanding leaders like yourself will help us help others. So tonight, we have with us another dynamic leader. Today, we have a youth leader. You know, every week, I like to do a proper introduction of the guests. So let me do a proper introduction of Mr. Austin Lloyd Dellafosse. And Austin is a senior honor student enrolled at Alfred M. Barb High School in Lake Charles, Louisiana. He possesses a 4.2 GPA. His class rank, get this, is 17 out of a class of 441 students. You see, I told you he was dynamic. Now, let me give you some of his accomplishments because I want to make sure we give him a proper introduction. Austin has conducted research at Tulane University, at University of Michigan, and he's still in high school. He's an academic all-state track and field athlete. He is an advanced placement scholar. He is summa cum laude graduates, or will be soon.
Tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow. I will let him tell you what he's going to be doing post-high school. In his free time, Austin enjoys cooking, working out, playing basketball, reading, spending time with friends and family. Recently, Austin, now get this, he launched a health and fitness YouTube channel with an additional platform on Facebook entitled Austin Dellafosse Health and Fitness. Now, I probably need to take that class. I told you he is an overachiever. He is also the founder of a math enrichment program entitled Count Me In. This program provides complimentary tutoring to underserved students in 3rd through 6th grade. He also gives back. Austin is the president and co-founder of his high school's first ever robotics club. He wrote 2 STEM grants, which secured over $10,000 for the robotics club. This young man is not only an athlete, but he's smart. Just in case you didn't catch that earlier, we have to throw that in here. He is a member of the Alfred M. Barb track and field team where he participates in the 100, 200, and 400 meter races. And finally, healthy eating and overall health of others are 2 things that Austin is very passionate about. By becoming a physician and an advocate for healthy lifestyles, he feels that he will be making a lasting impact on the world. Now, this is about legacy building. And the law of the legacy says a leader's lasting value is measured by success. So let's welcome Mr. Austin Lloyd Dellafosse to the show.
How are you doing?
I'm always doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing great.
Well, that is awesome. Well, thank you very much, Austin, for taking the time out to come and spend with our audience today. And we want to learn all about you, what you're doing from a youth perspective. We want to understand, Austin, youth leadership and why we should listen to the youth. So we're going to have a conversation tonight. I'm going to ask you some questions and let's just have a dialogue. So let's just jump right in. So, you know, I did this introduction of you, but I want you to tell the audience a little about your journey so far in life, really.
So I'll begin with this. I believe that I'm here on this earth for a reason. I believe that I have a purpose to provide value to people and impact their lives in a positive way. To begin my life, I was born prematurely, and many of the doctors didn't think that I was going to make it to this point living and being a vibrant 17-year-old. And many of the doctors didn't believe in me. And, you know, now that I'm 17 years old, I'm doing all these great things, I still feel like I have so much more to offer to the world through my skills and my talents and my passions that I can pour into other people. And I believe that I can do this through, community activism and just all these great things. And that's pretty much me. Just a little tidbit about me.
Well, that's awesome. Community activism and civic involvement is extremely important, and I'm excited to hear that you are heavily involved in the community, and that's awesome. So, tell our audience, our audience a little taste of what's to come with Austin. What are you going to do? What are your plans after high school?
So after high school, I will be attending Howard University, and I'll be majoring in chemistry with a minor in nutrition. So that's my plans after high school.
Okay, all right. Howard University,
Yes,
going
indeed.
up. All right, going up to the DC, Maryland area, right?
DC, got to get ready for that cold weather.
Okay, yeah, you got to get used to that, and DC life, man. Sometimes they tell me once you move to DC, you never come back south.
We'll have to find out.
I know your mom is going to be a little disappointed when you tell her you're not coming back.
She said she's going to be my roommate.
All right, now you make sure you have to tell her no.
All right.
All right. So, hey, Austin. So, tell us, what's the motivation behind your the work that you want to do later in life?
So it's two main reasons. The number one motivation for me is making my family proud. And I say making my family proud is important to me because they have made so many sacrifices to help me get to the point where I am today. And I just want to make them proud and show them that those sacrifices will lead to me being a successful person who will ultimately help other people become more successful. And the second main motivation for me is just making myself proud. And yeah, the second reason is making myself proud. And I say that because like I said earlier, I feel like I'm here for a reason. I feel like I have a purpose to impact people's lives and just help them become more successful and just help me become more successful. So the two main motivations for me is my family and just making myself proud. I'm more of a mix of an internally and externally motivated person. I try to be a self-starter, but at the same time, I look at outside sources like my family as a source and a fire to get me going and move towards a better future.
Okay. Well, look at you just thinking about your family and others in your motivation in life. That is so awesome. And I know that your parents have to be extremely proud of what you've accomplished thus far, and looking forward to what you're going to do in the future. If you had to think about something that has impacted you, obviously your senior year has been significantly impacted with this current health crisis. If you had to think about what's the most impactful thing you've learned during this crisis?
The most impactful thing that I've learned would have to be, time management and the importance of taking initiative. During this quarantine, the outside of, missing my family, that was like one of the biggest parts, but I also had so much more free time to pursue things that I wanted to do and I couldn't do while the school year was going on. And during this quarantine, I was able to try so many new things, learn so much about myself. I was able to start a YouTube channel. I've been trying to learn how to play chess, drawing, just doing all these different things, just trying to hone in on, okay, what is my purpose in life? What is my passion? What can I see myself doing for the rest of my life? And this quarantine has helped me figure that out. And I know without a doubt that I'm going to be a physician. I'm going to impact people's health. And I'm using my platform through YouTube and Facebook. And now I've started an Instagram page where I'm just going to be pouring and adding value to people's lives through the things that I'm passionate about.
Okay, all right. And understanding your passion is extremely important, right? For many different reasons. And one of those is once you understand and know what your passion is, what you're passionate about in life, it totally changes how you get up every day. If you're passionate about something you're doing right, you get up every day feeling good about it.
Right.
That's exciting.
It's a great feeling.
Say that again.
It's a great feeling, like, waking up with a purpose.
Yes, absolutely. And it's great to hear a young man like yourself say that. So, one of the things that we, at older adults, when we think about the youth and we think about what advice we could give um, high school students, what is something that you learned in high school that you think that will help you impact the world?
One thing I learned in high school. Once again, the biggest thing that I've learned in high school is, once again, taking initiative. That's like one of the main things that I've learned throughout high school, because you're going to see problems in the world and you can't always wait for somebody to come and rescue and solve that problem. You have to come up with that solution, be a self-starter, and create that solution to make the world a better place. And that's what I've tried to do. Whenever I see a problem and I see that I'm passionate about it, I try to create a solution for that problem so other people can come into that situation and it's even better. So that's the biggest thing I've learned from high school, is taking initiative. And I feel like people should, take initiative, and you can get a lot done. And yeah.
Okay, well then we definitely need you back in Lake Charles once you graduate, because we need you talking to the youth every day. Because I'm loving loving this, that you're telling your peers and people that are younger than you to learn to take initiative and don't be afraid to take action.
Right.
So that's awesome. What would you say is your favorite subject? What was your favorite subject in school, and why is that?
My favorite subject in school would have to be chemistry. Obviously, like I said earlier, I'm a chemistry major, and it actually started during my junior year when I took AP chemistry, and I just fell in love with how conceptual the class was, the problem solving, and how analytical it is, and I just really fell in love with it. In addition to that, shout out to my AP chemistry teacher, Miss Rebecca White. She really had a lasting impact on me. She was so passionate about what she taught, and I just went into each class every morning with this, just eager to learn about what she was teaching us. And after taking that class, I just fell in love with chemistry, and I ended up deciding to major in chemistry at Howard University.
Okay, all right. Well, kudos to you. Now it's interesting. So when I first went to college, Austin, I decided to major in accounting, and until I took my first accounting class and realized that wasn't for me. Then I ended up graduating with a science degree, and I had to take chemistry. I was trying to run away from all those sciences. I share your love and passion for chemistry. So that's awesome. And so you gave a shout out to one of your high school teachers, which is awesome. And that teacher in particular, and it could be other teachers, but that teacher in particular, give us one or two, maybe three qualities that you thought this teacher had that separated her from other teachers.
For one, she was, like I said, she was very, very passionate about what she did. And you could just tell, like, the way she taught the class, you could just tell how much she loved the subject of chemistry. I'll give you like an example. I remember one day she was like in the hospital or something, and we were still having class. And from the hospital, she texts in the remind, make sure you guys do your Cengage homework. And here's like the example of how to do one of the problems. And like that showed me right there that that's dedication. Like I feel like most teachers wouldn't do that from the hospital bed. And that showed me just how committed and dedicated she was to her subject. And the other thing that I loved about Miss White was her willingness and her, I guess, willingness to take the time to help each student. I remember there were times when I didn't understand a problem, and I would always ask her, can I meet you after school? can I do this after school, like to get help? And she never turned me down. She always said yes, despite her having to teach night classes at Sewella. She always managed to make time for her students. And that's the two greatest things that I loved about Miss White. And I'm really going to be sad that I can't be taught by her anymore. And shout out to Miss White, Rebecca White, once again at Barb High School. Definitely take her class if you're at Barb.
Well, look at that. That is that's awesome, and that's what you call a leader making an impact, a lasting impact. And you know, in the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, the second law, Austin, is the law of influence. And the law of influence says leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And Miss White definitely was an influence on you and made an impact on you with the things that she did. I love that you said, hey, she was very passionate. Even when she was sick, she still reached out to encourage and inspire you guys to complete your homework. She was committed and dedicated to the students. And so as you go out and become a leader of other people, remember Miss White and what she did to make an impact on you, and you do that same thing to impact someone else, right? So if you had to list out an achievement that's been most rewarding for you, and it could be in school or it could be outside of school, what's an achievement that's been most rewarding to you?
The achievement that's been most rewarding to me, I would have to say getting the award, the academic All-State for track and field. And I say that because it was quite a journey, going into my senior year. I first joined the track team my junior year of high school. I participated in the 100, 200 meter, 400 meter, and all that. And I didn't get onto the varsity team, and I used that as motivation, to train all through the summer. And as the season was approaching, it was about November, I injured my back. I ended up having a lumbar strain, and I couldn't practice with the team. I couldn't work out or anything. And I was bouncing from physical therapists all around, trying to find, a solution to my back problem. And it was really discouraging, and it almost made me, give up. And I had to dig deep and ask myself, why am I doing this? Why am I continually to put myself through all this pain? Despite me running and it's hurting, why am I doing this? And after figuring out the answer to that question, I figured out that I love track. I love to run. I love to exercise. And after figuring out that why, I was able to get back into the track team, compete in the first meet. Obviously, the season was canceled because, COVID-19. But just being in that race, it was just, I felt so fulfilled because I had worked so hard to get to that moment. And after getting the academic All-State, it was almost like, I don't know, it's a great achievement because I had gone through all that pain to get to that moment. So that was probably my greatest achievement so far in my life.
Okay. All right. Well, suffering through pain and injury definitely helps, makes you dig deep, right? And it's either going to tell you one or two things. It's either going to tell you, I love what I'm doing, or, you know what, I don't want to go through this anymore, and I'm going to walk away.
Right.
And it looked like in that moment, you realized, I love what I'm doing. So it makes it, what we say in leadership is everything worthwhile is uphill. And it sounds like you were saying it was worth all the pain and agony that I was going through to get better so that I can go to a higher place.
Yes. I was so close to giving up, man, but I kept going.
Well, awesome. Well, you're going to benefit from that toughness and that grit later in life, because when you're at Howard in that STEM program, from what I looked it up a little bit just to see what this program was about, right? And I can tell you're going to need that grit at 2 in the morning, mid-semester, midterms are coming up, and you got to dig deep to make sure that you pass that exam.
Right.
So hey, I'm gonna throw a little wild question here, Austin. So I know you're into health, fitness, and we're gonna talk about that in just a little bit. But hey, tell us, every now and then people have a guilty pleasure, a favorite dessert or some food that maybe they shouldn't eat on a regular basis that they do eat, the ones that I eat all the time. So tell us, what's your favorite dessert?
I don't really have a favorite, but anything my grandmothers cook, shout out to my grandmothers, anything that they bake, cook, anything, that's my favorite dessert. So anything they cook, sweet potato pie, pecan pie, I'm in there.
Okay, all right. I see that you're trying to make sure that you stay right on the line so that they cook it all for you.
Yeah.
Okay, Bill Clinton, I got you. That's good. Well, awesome. So, Austin, we in life we mentor people and we get mentored by people. Who are you being mentored by today?
I'm being mentored by a variety of people. I'm being mentored by Miss Rhonda Peters. She's helping me develop and get my ideas right for my business that I want to start soon. I'm being mentored by Miss Nicole Moncrief. She's definitely helped me become more involved into the community and just keeping my head straight as I approach college. And then I'm being mentored by you, Mr. Cedrick. You've definitely helped me want to become more financially free. I was on the webinar yesterday, and it just definitely motivated me to, want to become financially free and just make more money. And those are my 3 mentors. There's way more I could list, but for right now, that's the people that I'm being mentored by. And obviously my 2 loving parents, I'm being mentored by them every single day.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I wasn't expecting you to say me, but I totally appreciate that. And I have a note that I was going to make sure that I mentioned because I got a lot of positive comments about you after the webinar. So just for the audience to know here, Saturday morning, I hosted my Winning with Money webinar, and it started at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and it was supposed to go to 11. We actually went to noon or a little bit after noon. And Austin was the only student on this webinar from the very beginning, and he stayed all the way through till the very end. And along the way, he also had several engaging questions so that I know he was paying attention. He was trying to go deeper to get that second level question for understanding. Now, on this webinar, you have to remember, we're talking about the first part of the webinar is talking about money management, day-to-day stuff that he's not really thinking about as a youth right now, paying bills and all of that type stuff. However, the second part of it was about investing, and kudos to Austin. And this is the great separator, Austin, the separator between those people who are going to be good versus those people who are going to be great. And so kudos to you. I had many adults that were on the call sent me a message and said they were excited and impressed that you were on the call and that you stayed on the call the whole time. And they felt you had some really good questions as well. So thank you for joining.
Thank you for hosting it. I loved the webinar. I learned a lot from it.
Awesome. Now what we need to do is get some of these adults out there to come and get some of this knowledge as well. So maybe you'll encourage and inspire them. So, hey, Austin, give us 2 or 3 unique qualities that set you apart from the crowd. Now, I just talked about one, but you give us 2 or 3 qualities that you think that separate you from the crowd.
2 or 3 unique qualities. For one, I would say I'm a very confident person. I don't ever put on a mask for anybody. I give my genuine self whenever I'm with anybody. And I say that confidence has really helped me. And and helped me grow as a leader and just a person who helps advocate for other people. And without this confidence, I don't think I would have been able to start many of the platforms that I have, because out of fear of judgment of others. But with this confidence, I've helped, do a lot of great things. The second unique quality, I guess my drive. Like I said, I'm a very self-motivated person. I'm always driven to learn new things. With that money webinar, just during this quarantine, trying a whole bunch of new stuff. I get a rush out of just learning new things, and just learning new things is just so engaging to my mind, and I just love it. So two unique qualities are my drive and my confidence. So those two things have helped me to the person that I am today, and will help me continue to grow.
Okay. All right. Well, that is that is awesome, and you definitely I definitely see those unique qualities in you and everything that you do. And even before I met you for the first time, I heard a lot about you from your mom, and so all those things were confirmed once I met you. When parents talk about their kids, we brag on our kids, right? So you go, yeah, maybe. But then once I met you, and just watching you has been I've been very impressed. So keep that up. That is awesome. So I know you started a couple of businesses, all right? And so let's talk about the two businesses that you started, or maybe you started even more. Tell us what made you decide to start your business, your entrepreneurship journey.
So it was actually two main reasons. So the first reason was many people in my family struggle with heart disease and heart-related illnesses. And noticing that statistic, I didn't want to become another person in my family who's impacted by high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart-related illnesses. And this really motivated me to change my diet and change my, overall lifestyle, so I wouldn't become another African-American with heart disease or anything like that. And about 3 years ago, my mom and I did a clean diet challenge in which we ate clean for the entire summer. And I noticed a huge change in my physique. Skin was clear, all these great things. And as I did more research, about how to optimize my health, I wanted to share that knowledge. So I ended up making a booklet, gave it to my family. And then that eventually led to me making a YouTube channel. Now I have a Facebook and Instagram platform. And those two things really helped motivate me and mold me into a passionate person who loves health and fitness and wants to make people, more motivated, not only to be healthier and more active, just challenge yourself each day and be better. I just try to pour value into the people through my content and my consistency, because I believe consistency really does reign. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Every day be better. I love that. And I love you said consistency. There's a leadership principle that we say, motivation gets you going, but discipline and consistency keeps you going and growing. And without you even knowing that leadership principle, that's really what you're saying to your audience, to the audience. That's really what you're saying to yourself every day. That's really what you're saying to everybody around you. Be consistent and have that drive to be better every day. Absolutely love that, Austin. So, hey, we are halfway through the show, and let's do this. I want to make sure that we give these books away. So the first book that we're going to give away, Austin, I'm going to let you pick someone. How Successful People Think is the book that we're going to give away. So I'm going to let you select someone that is maybe out on your Facebook page or something, if you can see that.
Can I see it from here?
Oh, yes. Oh, you're talking about, on your Facebook page?
Right. I can't see the quick one here.
All right, hold on. Let me tell you who all's on Facebook here. We have, let me move that down some. So I see.
Whoever the third person is, I don't want to whoever the third person is, I don't want to favoritism or anything.
Okay, yeah. Hey, you just have to. Well, you know what? So we can't go with the third person because in the comments, the third person was me. All right, we got to go with somebody else.
Is there a fifth person in there?
Yeah. So, and this person is Dr. Nicole Rankin.
Okay.
Dr. Nicole Rankin is a friend of mine, a colleague of mine, a partner, a business partner of mine, and she lives in Atlanta. And she's on here tonight, and I know she does a lot in the youth space, so she's going to be excited about this. So, Dr. Nicole Rankin, we're going to get this book to you. How Successful People Think. All right. So she said, laugh out loud. That's funny. So all right. So, that's good. Talk about favoritism. You picked me. That's awesome.
Contradicted myself.
Yeah. So hey, Austin. So we talked about mentors for you. Are you mentoring anyone? And if you have, give us a sense of what you try to impart on people that you mentor.
I'm not necessarily mentoring anybody in like specifically, but I say through my platforms and through my message, I feel like I'm inspiring people. And I feel like that's almost like an indirect way of mentoring. Yeah. So like I said, I try to be consistent and consistently adding value to people's lives. And I try to, this is quote of the day, get 1% better each day. And that totals up to 365% better at the end of the year. And if you think about that, 365% better is a lot of growth. So I feel like by me being consistent and adding value to people's lives, they can also be 1% better each and every day. So that's kind of how I mentor, be consistent and just try to be a leader with whatever I'm doing.
I absolutely love that. And I'm typing that out on Facebook. And I know that Dr. Nicole is probably going to type that out too, because she's awesome with that. I like that. 1% better every day tallies up to being 365% better by the end of the year. And so what Austin is telling you, just in case you didn't get it, what he's telling you is you can supersize your life. You can supersize your career. You can supersize your family. You can supersize your health just by getting 1% better every day, little by little, step by step. That's awesome. So Austin, so we have to talk about, so you're in Louisiana, and Louisiana has a NFL sports team that they're all right. But I know my Saints fans are going to be mad about that. But so tell me, do you have a favorite NFL football team?
My favorite NFL team is the Saints, New Orleans Saints, and the Seattle Seahawks. That's my two.
Okay. All right. I'll see that we got to do a mentoring session about that. All right. So what about basketball?
Basketball, Los Angeles Clippers. They're going to win the title this year. Forget all the Lakers fans. Clippers all the way. Kawhi Leonard, greatest of all time. No dispute.
Wow. So I know that your Uncle Mark went. So your Uncle Mark and I took business law together in high school. And all we would do is sit in the back of the room and talk about, I was a Celtics fan, and unfortunately he was a Lakers fan. And that's what we would talk about every day. So I know that his heart probably hurts that you talk about the Clippers versus the Lakers.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, all right. So now when you go off to Howard and you get in the DC, Maryland area, there's a lot that you can do. There's a lot to get you that you can get involved with in the community. Have you thought about, what's one thing you say, man, I'm excited that I'm going to be in this area because now I'll get to experience whatever that is?
I think the thing I'm most excited about would have to be joining a fraternity. My dad was a Alpha Phi Alpha. Shout out to my dad, Mac Dellafosse. He was an Alpha Phi Alpha, and he's, kind of maybe want to be an Alpha Phi Alpha. And that's the thing I'm most excited about is pledging, because I feel like it's a great experience. It's something that I don't know all people should do. I don't know. I didn't really experience it yet, but it's something that I'm really looking forward to. Get to meet all my brothers, get closer to them, and just get some great networks. And that's the thing I'm most excited about for college.
Okay. All right. Well, that is definitely awesome that you want to be an alpha, and within the alphas, they do a lot of great work in the community, and you'll be able to surround yourself with a lot of great people. So that is awesome. I like that. So we all have successes in our lives, but most of our important lessons come from difficulties that we experience, and maybe we kind of talked about this a little, but I'm just going to ask the question anyway. Give us an example of a problem that you faced and how you overcame it, and what was the lesson that you learned?
So it was actually quite recently, before it was like kind of during the school year, and it was in my AP Calculus class, and we were learning this, new lesson. It was called the second fundamental theorem of calculus, and for some reason, like I couldn't understand it. Like all my peers, all my kids in my class, they understood it. And that was so frustrating that they understood it, but I didn't. And despite them explaining to me, I still didn't understand. And what I had to do is go home, watch YouTube, watch Khan Academy, and do all these different things, and never give up and continue trying to learn, what I was doing wrong. And I really, learned how to dig deep in those times where you feel like you want to give up. Because we had a test the next day, and I could have easily just said, forget it, I'm just going to take this bad grade. But I dug deep and I kept studying for it, and eventually I was able to understand the concept. So that was a little difficulty that I had recently in my AP Calculus class.
Okay, all right. So you know what? So you're also giving me some good information here, helping me with some of your responses. See, I never had difficulty in AP in an AP class because I never was in an AP class. So this is awesome. So, hey, question: what are you currently reading?
What am I currently reading?
Yes.
I'm currently reading this book called Killing Kennedy, and it's basically it like digs deep into like the backstory of how John F. Kennedy was assassinated, and I'm really into that because there's so many conspiracy theories out there about the bullet curved, all this, but the book nails what the facts are, and I find it really really interesting. So I'm currently reading Killing Kennedy.
Okay. All right. Well, that's awesome. Well, reading is one of the things that guarantees that you'll continue growing. And we know that growth is the only guarantee that tomorrow will be better than today. So keep reading and keep looking for ways to improve yourself and the world around you. So question around advice that you would have for your fellow teenagers. If you could sit down and you have the mic and everybody has all eyes on you, what advice would you give your fellow teenagers?
I know it may seem pretty broad, but take your time and truly nail down what you want to do with your life. Find your passion and pursue that relentlessly, because you don't want to be stuck at something, at a job or something that you don't love what you're doing. I'm a big person who if I don't love it, then I'm not going to put my full effort and heart into it. So my advice to all high schoolers or just anybody in general is take the time and find what you're passionate about and pursue that. Don't let any haters or doubters, veer you off that path. Continue at it, and eventually you will find success through hard work, consistency. Find that passion, and it will lead to success.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? You just gave everybody a lesson in the book Think and Grow Rich, because Napoleon Hill says, hey, you have to, once you find your passion, you have to close your mind tightly against all negative forces. And he says negative forces may be some of the people close around you, parents, other relatives, friends, or so-called friends, right? And so you just gave them advice right out of the book Think and Grow Rich that they can use for the rest of their life to supersize their life and supersize what they do in life and finding their passion. So
yeah, speaking
awesome.
about Napoleon Hill, I remember you had mentioned in one of your talks about like a burning desire, where you cut off all sources of what was the word of,
retreat,
escape or retreat or something like that, where you cut them off, and that leads to a burning desire. So that was just wanted to add that in.
Yes. See that, folks, he's listening. See, now I want you to understand, the youth listen. They hear you if you are saying something that they like. If you're saying something that inspires and motivate them, they listen. So take that advice, guys, and continue to pour into the youth, and you'll see that they will do things and accomplish things like our great friend, Mr. Austin Dellafosse here tonight. So if there was one thing you could change, just one thing you could change about yourself, what would that be and why?
I think I can be a little bit over competitive sometimes. I'm always the type of person who wants to win and always wants to win now, but that's not always the best way to do things, because I've learned from experience that you're not always gonna get what you want now. It's called something called delayed gratification. Many people search for instant gratification because it's the quick fix. It's something easy, but I've always found that delayed gratification is, more rewarding. It's something that I've had to learn, and I've had to, cut off those sources of instant gratification. I've tried to, detox my phone, social media, and try to, make my brain rewired to wanting those long-term goals, because in order to reach success, it's going to be delayed gratification. It's not going to happen now. And if it does happen now, it's probably a gimmick. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. I like that. So, your generation is really going to be responsible for a lot of great things in the future. Your generation, as well as the millennials, are going to be responsible for taking us to the next level. And taking us to the next level is not something that is easy. There's going to be a challenge, right? And you talked about having that stick-to-itiveness and grit and determination earlier, or even that burning desire. So when we think about the future, let's think about, where do you see yourself when you look 10 years out? Where do you see yourself, and what do you see in your life?
So 10 years from now, I will be 27 years old. And by that time, I should have graduated from medical school and, be practicing my residency. But in addition to that, I also want to have my business up and running so I can have a source of passive income while I'm, practicing as a physician. And yeah, 10 years from now, I want to be a practicing physician in my residency, and also have my business, up and started, and, getting that out to people, reaching a lot of people.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, that's great. When you think about 10 years from now, before we got it on the show, but before we went live, I said, hey, I graduated May 8th, 1985. And you went, oh, my Lord. Like that was like 100 years ago. So 10 years from now, you're going to look back and you're going to say, you're going to be telling someone else, man, I graduated in 2020. and they're going to look, that little kid's going to look at you and say, are you old? So, awesome. So I obviously, I know education is important to you. But what I wanted you to do is to kind of walk our audience through and tell them why. There may be a young student that's sitting out there that is struggling in school. There may be a parent that's trying to figure out if they should let their kid just drop out and do whatever. Speak to that audience right now on how important education is in life.
I see education as one of the most important things that a person can obtain. Education isn't just getting a college degree or just getting a college degree. Education is it's a lifelong journey because you're constantly learning. And for me, education is so important because I understand the sacrifices that the people before me, my grandparents, my great grandparents, all these people had to go through in order to get me to where I am today, where I'm sitting here right now. They had to go through so many trials and tribulations. And that's a major motivation for me, because by me not taking my education seriously, I'm letting those people who made those sacrifices, I'm letting them down. And that I can't live with that. Me letting people down, letting my family down especially, I can't live with that. So I go into that class every day trying to prove to myself and prove to others that I belong here and I'm going to make a difference in this classroom. I'm going to do well and succeed.
That is outstanding. Awesome. So here's a comment I just saw on Facebook, and one of my good friends that live in Atlanta said to Dr. Nicole, she says, we need to invite him to one of our youth trainings to inspire others. So you already
I'll definitely join. I'll love it.
Awesome. So Nicole and Joanna, look at there. Austin said he would love to help inspire and motivate and encourage some of the youth in Atlanta. So it's out there. See, this is all about making connections and networking with other people. So this is awesome. So hey, Austin, I know you're going to be going off to Howard University, and tell us a little bit more about is it Karsh? Is that the right word?
The Karsh STEM Scholars Program.
Yeah. Tell us about that program.
So the basic premise of the program is 4 years. They pay for your full tuition, but before you apply, you have to decide if you want to get a PhD or an MD/PhD. And since I want to become a physician, I chose the MD PhD route, in which I'm going to be like practicing physician. Like you do 2 years of medical school, then you go do research, and then go back and finish medical school. And I don't know what I'm going to do my research in, but I end up choosing the path of the MD PhD. And whenever applying to the program, if you want to become just a doctor, don't apply, because you won't be accepted. So that's the basic premise of the program, and they have a lot of great opportunities through the program that I'm really eager to experience.
Okay. All right. Well, so that's again, folks, Austin just, told you, hey, you have to be sharp. You have to be ready. You have to be intentional. You have to be goal oriented. You have to be a driver, consistent, all of those things in order to get a full ride scholarship at Howard for this Karsh STEM scholarship. And notice he said you have to either obtain a PhD or an MD/PhD to participate in this STEM program. So for all you high schoolers out there, for all you parents out there with high schoolers and middle school students, it's important that you think about today what you want your kid to do at the next level if you want them to go to college, and you need to start preparing them today. Now, Austin, one of the things that you did at Barb was to help them get a grant for the robotics program. Mm-hmm. So tell me what made you decide to do that, and what was the impact on the school?
So it was about my sophomore year, and me and my peers were talking, and they were saying how they we had all these different clubs. We had speech and debate, student council, but we didn't have a robotics club. And they were saying, oh, we should definitely get one started. And none of them were willing to really approach the principal and find a sponsor. So I ended up taking the initiative, approached Mr. Yellett, asked him to get the club started. And I found, after approaching about 10 to 12 teachers, I finally found a sponsor, and it was our AP physics teacher, and he decided to sponsor our club. And it really grew. Our first year, we only had about 3 members. But after, some campaigning and advertising throughout the school, we ended up growing to about 30, 35 members. And we've won some local competitions. And I've really, grown and immersed myself in a different group of people, right? They're coders. They love programming. It's like I found a different side of me. I run track. I do community service. I have all these different aspects of me. And doing robotics, I found another side of me that I didn't know was in me. And I found that computers are pretty interesting. A little bit of nerd, but I found that computers are pretty interesting. And it had it had a really good impact on the school. And a lot of kids end up joining. And I'm really hoping it continues to grow as after I leave.
Well, that is awesome. So in other words, what you're telling the audience is you learned, you decided to stretch yourself. 1, you wanted to make the school better and make an impact on the school. 2, once you got involved, all of a sudden your network grew because you started hanging around people who are coders, right? Right. Then that means that you got better. So your sphere of influence changed, and in turn, that helped you grow and get better. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Awesome. So for our audience, this is why it's important for you to help your student stretch, grow. Sometimes your friends change. In order to get better, sometimes you have to go to a different crowd. In order to go to a higher level, sometimes you have to go to a different crowd. Doesn't mean that you don't like your old friends. It just means if you want to go higher, you have to change your inner circle sometimes. And this is what, I'm not saying this. This is what a high school student is saying that he's done, right? And now he's headed off to Howard University, a HBCU, on a full ride scholarship. Now, I know his parents are going to be excited, or well, not going to be. They are excited because now they don't have to come out of pocket for that college money. Right? So get your children motivated, inspired, encouraged, whatever you need to help get them to that next level.
Well, I'll add this. I wouldn't necessarily say that parents to constantly push the kids, because I feel like they can kind of deter them from doing what they really want to do. I'd almost, give them a little bit of guidance, but almost let the kid find what they want to do. Because I found that constantly getting pushed and told what to do to get this certain scholarship, to get into this certain Ivy League score or whatever, I feel like you're not truly passionate and enjoying what you do. And my parents guided me and mentored me, but at the same time, they allowed me to, find what I wanted to do through my own actions and experiences. So that's just a little tidbit of advice to parents out there.
Awesome. I love it. Absolutely. Fantastic. Well, that's awesome, Austin. And I know that some of the words that you said tonight will land on the right people's minds and hearts and spirit, and they will come away from this experience with you tonight with a different appreciation for our youth. And I know I'm looking at some of the comments here, and Joanna says, "Hey, he is definitely a leader and amazing." And Kamika says, "Awesome for Austin." So I'm excited and glad that you were able to come on the show with us tonight. And let's we're going to be wrapping up here in another 6 minutes, but let's I'm going to let you decide if you have any message that you want to give out to anyone as we get ready to wrap up.
Any party messages? think. I don't know. I feel like I've, poured what I had out in this interview. I don't
Okay.
really have any party messages. Just, once again, thank you for interviewing me. Thank you to all the people who tuned in. Hopefully my words, impact you or inspired you. Just share this with other people because, I want to get it out, help people out.
Absolutely. So Austin, so tell us, where can people find you when they're looking for fitness and health?
So on YouTube, you can look up Austin Dellafosse and you'll see my channel pop up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Then on Facebook, you can look up Austin Dellafosse Health and Fitness. We're currently doing a Rocking with a Rope challenge in which we jump rope for a certain amount of time each day for the entire month of May. And then I recently started an Instagram page. You can look up Adell, ADELL, health _ You can find me on Instagram, and I started that about yesterday, and it's up and starting, so you can find me on those 3 platforms.
Okay, all right. So what's the jump rope challenge?
So the jump rope challenge, so it started like May 1st, like I said. It's called Rocking with the Rope, and we jump rope for a certain amount of time to different genres of music. So for example, the first week we jump rope to hip hop music, so you can record yourself, then post it. Share it onto Facebook with the hashtag Rocking with the Rope. And there's 3 levels: low, medium, and high. And depending on your skill level, you try to aim for that certain amount of time. It's not about, getting it consecutive for 3 or 4 minutes, whatever it is. It's about just having the stamina to go that long. And the goal of the challenge is to improve people's heart health, because jump rope is a great full body workout. But in addition to that, it's great for your heart health. So that's
okay.
the jump rope challenge.
All right. Well, I'm going to start with the low, and I'm going to do 3, and then maybe I'll jump. By the end of the week, I'll get to 5.
All right.
Now, I saw you had a list. So Austin put out a list of foods that you should never eat or shouldn't eat on a routine basis, and one of those, 2 of those things on that list, I responded. And I saw it said hot dogs and French fries.
Dang, Abby, you couldn't eat them anymore.
Yeah, I promise that after next week I won't eat them anymore. All right, but next week you just got to figure out what next week I'm talking about. So hey, let's give out 2 more books before we leave tonight. So Make Today Count is another book that we have. So
you just pick another person.
All right. Yes. Let's just pick another person.
8th comment.
The 8th comment.
Is that you again?
Yeah. No, that's not me this time. Let me go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, wow. So there we go. That is Joanna, actually. Joanna is the one that said, hey, we need to have, here's what her comment was. The 8th comment says, Nicole said it right. When you align your passion with your purpose, amazing things happen. And this was around the time you talked about passion. So we're going to give this book to Joanna. Make Today Count. I better write a note here so that I remember who's getting what book here. And then we have 1 more book to give out. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to ask the audience a question, Austin. This time we're going to make them work for it.
Okay.
All right, so we can't give it to the last person who commented because that's your mom.
Mom.
No, I'm just kidding. So, oh, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. Because when I showed this book, you said, "Wow, that seems like a good one." So this book is gonna go to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. I'm going to make sure that you get this book.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. So again, thank you very much for coming on the show tonight. I definitely enjoyed having you here. Hopefully it was a good experience for you as well.
I loved it. Thank you so much.
Well, awesome. And for our audience, thank you for joining Talk Leadership with Cedrick tonight. I hope you enjoyed our guest, Austin Dellafosse, tonight. He gave us some outstanding insights and around how to influence others. He said, you know, his parents, I mean, his family, and he's inspired by the things that he's done as well. But those things help keep him, his family especially, keeps him motivated, right? He said people need to find their passion, right? And he talked about his teacher, Miss White, who inspired and motivated him, who helped show her passion. So it drove his passion for chemistry. Austin is a entrepreneur, and the advice that he gave, he said, take time to nail down what you want to do in life, find your passion, and close your mind tightly against negative forces. So again, everybody needs a little TLC in their life. So join us next Monday night for Talk Leadership with Cedrick. We really thank you and appreciate you for coming out tonight. Bye-bye.